Hello. Hello, Jilly.
Hi, Tina. How are you?
I'm good. I'm getting better. I'm
Good.
getting better.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I was quite sick last week.
I know you were. Yeah,
Yeah,
fluish
yeah.
and yeah. Yeah, and with COVID around, it makes everybody scared when they have the
That's right.
sniffles. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if I've got it. And it's interesting because I thought I booked the test and I
Yeah.
went for the booking, and the test center had no record of my booking, so I couldn't get
Wow.
it done. So I had to rebook. I had to go back home and rebook.
Really? Is it no cost there? Do you
Yeah,
pay
no,
for
no,
no
you don't
cost
pay. But the
here
thing
too?
is,
Yeah.
they have specific centers. You have to go,
Mhm.
like they have designated testing centers, and you have to book. And
Yeah.
apparently, if you don't have a booking, so you get a confirmation number, and it's like, being sick when I booked it, I was like, because was mostly in my head, so I felt
Yes.
really stuffed up. So it's like, I think I was like out of it.
Yeah.
So, I thought, I mean, I'm not going to blame anyone. Like, I'm going to take the blame, because it's like I probably didn't do all the final steps in the booking, and yeah, didn't get
Well,
confirmed. So when I showed up, it was like, they're not going to do it. So it's like, okay, then what can
oh,
I
that
do?
sucks. That sucks
Yeah,
so bad,
I
especially because
know.
you're not feeling well and you're cloudy anyway. And
Yeah,
and this is a new thing for all of us. Nobody knows
yeah,
what the hell they're doing here. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And in
right?
a way, I was kind of relieved, because I mean, I hear the testing process is not pleasant. So,
Yeah, that's what I hear.
and yeah, so I'm not looking forward to it. So,
Well, here you can go right through CVS drive-through, pharmacy drive-through, and get tested. So they
oh,
hand you
okay.
the kit out the door, and you do your little swab thing. So maybe it's easier
Oh,
if you're doing it yourself here. And
yeah. See, and I don't know if we have that here. Like, my understanding is they do it.
yeah,
And like, yeah, and it's, yeah, like they're
painful.
totally, yeah, I heard it's
Yeah,
painful. So
yeah.
it's like, okay.
I'm, when they first started testing here, I think they go so high with that swab that's what, it gets you. And then there's some nosebleeds and stuff I heard when they're
Yeah,
doing it, but everybody's
yeah,
different, right?
yeah. One of my
Right.
friends, she shared, she got tested, and she ended up getting a nosebleed, a really bad nosebleed from it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
great, So
Right. Things to
hope
look
for the
forward
best.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So what's
yeah.
the turnaround time there? Like how long before you get your results?
So they said it can be anywhere between 24 to 48 hours.
Okay. That's about the same here.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it can
Um,
be.
so we'll see. Yeah. I don't
We'll
think I
see.
have it. I don't think I have it, but
Right.
I'm not a medical professional, so
Right. And it's cold and flu season and everybody's feeling kind of under the weather too. So
yeah,
don't
that's
panic
right.
too much,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah,
Don't
that's
borrow
right.
trouble, as my mother
That's
says all
right.
the time. And there she is. Hi,
Yeah,
Mom.
your mom's here. Hi, Doreen. Yes, hooray, you found us. Yay.
She found us. She keeps missing it because she didn't know that it was on Facebook and all this other stuff. So I texted
Okay.
her and told
Yeah.
her, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Yay, she's here. Yeah.
Yes.
So, um, let's see. So we're going to talk about the energies for December,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Here we
And
are. The
here
end
we
of the
are. I
year.
know,
We did it.
2020. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people are ready to kiss it goodbye, right?
Right.
Like,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, it
Yeah.
hasn't been an easy year in lots of ways, right? And
Yes.
yeah, so anyway, so I calculate the numbers, so I, take the month, December, which is a 12 month, and I add it to the calendar year, but I added to the calendar year of 2021, because my experience is, the cycles change a few months before we actually hit the calendar date. So
Yes.
I'm already using, I already feel like we're in the energies of 2021. So I use 2021 plus the 12th month, and it comes to a number 8 month.
Mm.
And so that one of the big things I got was shining.
Yeah.
Like, it's time for us to shine
Yeah.
and reveal our true selves. Like, shine our souls, shine our light, shine love. So even if you feel like things aren't going well in your world, you're not feeling great about yourself, the guides still say, shine your light, shine love.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Love it.
yeah, and I keep hearing that song by Rihanna, Shine. I think it's called Diamonds, but I keep hearing the title, like her singing in the background, Shine Bright Like a Diamond, Shine Bright. So that could be like our motto for the month. So just shine
Yes.
bright like a diamond. Do the best that you can. When you're feeling down in the dumps, it could just be a matter of like, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and visualize like this light shining within you,
Yeah.
and it'll just grow. And it'll help you guys. you,
Oh
you don't
yeah.
have to totally believe in it, but yeah, just give it a try.
Yeah.
So shine bright. Yeah, yeah.
And that always makes me think when you were talking about shining. Of course, I'm a reader and a writer, and I thought of Stephen King's Shining because the
Oh.
love of that book for me was The Shining itself. And The Shining was this telepathic opening of little Danny and the caretaker in that hotel. I don't know if you ever read that book, but
No.
in the book, it goes real far into what the shining is and how to shine. And really, it's an opening, and an allowing of really the messages to come through. And we've all been through such turmoil. November was the Tower month, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the destruction of false beliefs and false foundations. So I thought it very fitting. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit too, that you saw the star for
Mm-hmm.
December, because the star directly follows the Tower card in the tarot
Oh.
deck.
Oh, I
And
didn't realize that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of symbolism in the star card too about replenishment, which kind of goes in with your camel spirit animal as well. So we can talk about that a little bit more. But I just
Mm-hmm.
thought that was interesting because the tower is 16 and the star is number 17, and 17 is an 8. And that's what
Yes.
you're seeing for December. So all these synchronicities as you're talking, it always blows my mind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's The Shining. I've never read the book,
Yeah.
but I saw the movie,
Yeah. Great
right?
movie too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a freaky movie, and
Yeah.
it's funny because it happens in winter time.
It does. It does. In the
you
middle of a
know,
huge snowstorm. Yeah.
right, and we're embarking into like the darkest, coldest time of the year in the northern
Right.
hemisphere.
That's right.
So that aligns, and I think too, like The Shining, it's like, you know, there's that play of, the dark side,
Right.
right? Our
Yeah.
darker side, and then, the light, and then, the light side coming out. So,
That's right.
to shine bright on, that would play in like in our world. It's like, okay, we've been dealing with a lot of dark
We have.
aspects of our life. We're seeing the ugly side or dark side of people, right? Because people, are fed up with a lot of things. Things aren't going right in their world
Yes.
anymore. Things, so that's acting out. So it's like, okay, now is the time to show love and show light, right?
Yes.
And
Oh, yes.
just shine that. And it's like, you know what? We got to stop this division, and
Yes.
I think that's part of what this month is about, right? Shining bright like a diamond. It's like,
Yes.
share our light and love, right? Whether we agree with
Absolutely.
someone, or you don't have to like what they're doing, but just sharing that to help, right? It's a
Right.
healing time.
It is.
And that,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Yes.
And then it brings up, so some other key words that came up were, the heart,
Yes.
love,
Yes.
values. So it's like, what do you value? What's a value to you? And that can tie in with the money as well, because money showed up. But money comes, it's almost like an afterthought. I think people might be, it's not that they're discounting money, but maybe they're resigning to the fact, you know what?
Yeah.
This is the best I can do, right?
Right. Yeah.
With whatever money you might have or don't have. And it could be
Absolutely.
like, maybe people are looking at, okay, what value do I get out of my money maybe right now? So maybe they're watching how they spend it.
Right.
Or maybe they're going to go for broke. It's like, what the heck? I've got nothing else to lose. It can go either way with
Yeah.
that.
Or maybe a big signal to us all that money is not the only thing with value.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of a transformation in our thinking of money and what it means, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, it's a good time to figure things out.
Yeah.
And I want to say with that too, it's like, because with the number 8 energy, it's one where it noticed details, like things become visible that you may not have noticed or were aware of before.
Right.
So it also can affect our foresight, right? And so it's like, okay, maybe if I can't get things done right now, or if I can't accomplish certain goals right now, I can maybe see the details of what steps or what I need to implement in my life or what I need to do to reach those goals. And that ties in with the camel,
Yes, it really
right?
does. Yes.
Because I read, when I read the camel, because I'm not familiar with all of its meaning, but the camel is an animal that can go on, it's about the journey. Like it can go
Yes.
on, and travel for days on end without going without water or food, which is really interesting, right?
Right. Yes. Yes. The camel is a very interesting spirit animal for sure because it has the ability to replenish, it can restock its energy levels. It can lose 40% of its fat and water content before it even shows issues, the camel. So the camel is all about the pilgrimage and the journey. It's not about that destination. You need to that's what the camel's showing us, the pilgrimage, your reserves, your how do you restore yourself, which is what the star tarot card is about as well, is that
Right.
what replenishes you, and keeps you
Right.
moving forward. Yeah. And a
Right.
time
Yeah.
to manage that, you have to really get into the details of managing your life when you give up your expectations of what your life is going to be. So now is the time to really micromanage. Even that $100 you think is your last $100, you have to manage that $100. You have to, whether you have 1,000,000 or 100, you've got to really learn how to manage that.
Right.
And what is that, and the value, what, like you were saying before, that's when you really start focusing on value and what you get
Right.
for your
Right.
energy exchange, right?
Right. Yeah. And figure it out, like, figure out, okay, how do I want to use that? Or what do I
Right.
want to put it towards, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. I also got the keyword driving it home and persistence. And when that comes through, it's like I keep seeing this and hearing this motion, like a fist hitting the other palm, like, driving it home. So
Yes.
it could be like, and persistence. So it could be like, guys, this is not a time to give up, right? And I think a
Right.
lot of people will feel that. So they might think like, okay, I'm going to try this.
Right.
And it could be whatever it is. And
Yeah.
you might not get it the first couple of times, but there's going to be that part of you that's like, I got to keep at it. And that could be where, like, the fist, like, keep at it. Don't give up so
Yes.
easily. Be persistent.
Well, the camel is temperance as well
Okay.
in the tarot deck. The camel has real survival instincts, really real survival instincts. So when the camel comes into our experience, it helps us to overcome challenges that were otherwise insurmountable. Challenges you never thought you'd get over. you're going to find yourself able to get over. And so that's where you have to really hit it home of what you're made of, you know, because
Right.
this is the time. Yeah.
Right. And then but we have to be aware too is, are we forcing our beliefs, you know, our thoughts on those around us too? Because sometimes too we might be trying to drive in our
Yeah.
opinions on others, and it's like, you know what, maybe you have to cool it a bit, right?
Yes.
And that's where,
Yes.
you know, okay, divine light and love, I need to, you know, just calm down, and it's like just shine my own light, and whoever agrees agrees, and who doesn't, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so be aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the other thing too I want to bring up, oh, the rescue.
Yeah. That was interesting.
That
Yeah.
was interesting when I heard that. And it's like, okay, so I hear like rescue groups are connected to this. So
Mm-hmm.
that would maybe be, so I know there's lots of charities, right? And
Yes.
especially this time of year, there's a really big push, you know, and tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, is a big
Oh,
event.
great. Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, it's like, okay, I think the focus will be on charities that have like rescue as part of their motto, or
Yeah.
their outlook, or their, you know, of their plan. I can't think of a word. I can't
Yeah.
speak English today.
Tongue tied. Me too. Yeah.
um, so, you know, so right away I think, and it's funny because like I think of like the animal rescue groups. So it could be
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, maybe they're going to receive maybe more support, or there's going to be more push, or people
Yeah.
are going to look into wanting to rescue. Like maybe this Christmas, people are going to be thinking, well, I would rather rescue a cat or dog
Yeah.
instead of buying a gift. I don't know, like maybe that's the way it's going to
Well,
go.
my mom's saying in the chat room, I hope
Yeah,
everyone that's not having large groups that you spend that money anyway. Give that money away. Like she did this for Thanksgiving, right before
right.
Thanksgiving. Mom had groceries delivered. She's doing this through COVID, you know, to not go to the grocery store, and she tips her shoppers very well. But a day before Thanksgiving, she gave him an extra $40 tip. $40, you know, it was not a lot of money, but it
Yeah.
was. But he was so grateful. He burst into tears, and he told
Oh,
her that he could feed his family for Thanksgiving now, and that she had no idea what that meant to him, you know. And that's a true rescue. That's a rescue. She rescued him from
that's right.
not being able to feed his family, you know. So giving is absolutely the way to rescue yourself and others in the process.
Right, right, right. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, and it can go all those ways, like you say, like it's not just about the charity groups. It could be like you unintentionally, you know, might be helping someone, whether you know them well or not. And for
Exactly
them,
right.
they're receiving it like, oh, that person rescued me.
Exactly right. That's a
Right?
true rescue. Yes. And it could even be $1. You know, you never know what that, it could
That's
be a
right.
smile, you know, you
Right,
never know.
exactly. Yes, it could be a listening ear as
Yes,
well, right?
it
You know,
could.
some
Right.
people could just be like, I need to vent, and you're just there to like hear them out,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and that could be a rescue to them. You might need rescuing,
That's
right?
right. Right.
And it can be something even like, you know, hopefully this isn't going to happen, like you can get stuck on the side of the road and someone comes along and rescues you, right?
Right.
Like,
Truly.
so it just, yeah, the energy of rescue comes through strongly for this coming month of December. So
I
be
like
aware
it.
of that. And there's no shame, like if you need help, there's no shame in asking for it. Okay.
Right.
And then the other interesting thing too was food.
Yes. Love it.
And it's like, well, you know, and when I write down the article, so it's like I'm in this conversation mode with my guides. It's really hard to explain, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know, saying to my guides, food, but food is like a part, it's a necessity, like it's a part of our life, everyday life. Like what do you mean food? So it feels like there's an importance in it. So it's like, okay, we might be more focused on our foods. Maybe that's the way we're going to be connecting more than usual with our loved ones. Also, too, it can be a metaphor. So what are you feeding your soul,
Yes.
your mind, your heart? You know, what's nourishing you?
Yes, right.
What's poisoning you? So it can go that way as well. I don't know what you think or want to share about that.
When we were talking about it, when you were talking about food, of course, for me, I'm feeling like we're coming into this kind of healing mode where we're coming together despite our differences, despite that division, and we're breaking bread, you know, and there's nothing better to sit at a table or stand in a kitchen and have these wonderful conversations over food. And so it's uniting food, you know, it's necessary for everyone to have it. So it's a commonality we all have, and there's nothing better than to celebrate with food, you know. So that's what came to my mind.
Yeah. So food comes up. Yeah.
Oh, got
Yeah.
distractions.
What did you want to say about
Yeah, for
the
some reason I
tarot?
can't hear you. The audio is weird on me.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the Star Tarot?
So the
What
Star
would you like to
Tarot.
say? Yeah.
Yes. I pulled it up this morning to do a little bit. Let me go to my notes on here.
I just want to add
All right, because there's yes.
while you're looking.
Go ahead.
So for me, when that came up, I thought of like, oh, that ties in with shining bright. And like
Yes.
stars can look like diamonds in the sky, right? And there's
Yeah.
a few songs about that too, where they refer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? I
Okay.
love
Yes.
that, the reference to the stars, for
Yeah.
sure. The shining stars, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and the star cards has it has a lot of symbolism in it, because she's holding two containers. She's naked, showing her vulnerability in the
Mm.
card, in the traditional card. And she has one foot on the ground, and that represents her practical abilities. I don't know if you can see that. And she has one foot in the water, which is her subconscious and her intuition. So she's finding balance, she's finding replenishment within this scene. She's got abundance coming from the water that she's replenishing back into this little pond at her feet. But she represents pure intuition, mostly, the star, and replenishment and listening to your inner voice. It's okay to be vulnerable. We're all vulnerable, you know. Most of our lives we're naked and raw, and we need to take from the earth and replenish our souls, and then that way we can heal to give to others, you know. And you always have the guiding North Star, you know, there too. And then the seven stars around that star representing the seven chakras. I always think of the seven sisters in the sky that I talk to you a lot about, because those sisters
Right.
have some meaning to me. But the star card in the Light Seers Tarot is kind of representative, same kind of thing, replenishment, but really from source, you know, that source energy that we can all connect into and really replenish ourselves, because that's what we need to heal, is some replenishment. Our energy is so low, we're so weary right now as humans, you know. We've really been through something, and it's important to acknowledge that, because you have all these people that you feel like their lives haven't changed at all, you know, and yet you're just feeling so out of your routine and so out of your normalcy, you know.
Yeah.
So it's important to acknowledge that we've been through something, you know. We are experiencing it right now. We're not out of it. It's just seeming to get worse for us. So we've got to keep replenishing, whatever that means. If it's food, if it's meditation, if it's religion, if it's whatever that means to you, just keep replenishing your soul to survive this, like the camel survives the desert, you know, with
Right.
those humps, you know, the replenishment right on his back, you know. That
Mm-hmm.
replenishment is there for us. We just have to
Mm-hmm.
tap into it. And you get really closed off after tower moments, and that shaking of your reality, you know, it really
Yeah.
got shaken up for all of us. So it's
Yeah.
important to replenish before we rebuild, you know. Rebuilding comes
Yes.
after that. Yeah. So that's what
Yeah.
I think about the star When I pull
Yeah.
it in a reading, I think you need to replenish. You need to pull your energy back into yourself too. I know the tendency is to hit your point home because everybody's so in disagreement, but do you have to? Do you have to change their minds?
Mm.
How important is that to you for them to understand you, and kind of pull
Mm-hmm.
back your energy a little bit, and
Yeah.
and it helps with the triggering because it's really easy to be triggered in these times too.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, exactly. And with because it is cold flu season,
Right.
and you know, there's things are shutting down again, right? So people are feeling forced to follow, these restrictions, and they could be pushing back, and it's like, is it worth the fight?
How
Is it worth
important
it?
is it? Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. You're right. Is it
Hmm.
worth the fight? Is it worth my angst over this? Or do
My
I just
energy.
go with what
Yeah,
feels better? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Instead of
yeah,
trying to prove your point, which we
yeah,
all get stuck in. Yeah.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So,
Um, so today is a full moon
yes.
and a lunar eclipse.
Yes. Very interesting, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's in Gemini.
In Gemini. And
In
you were
Gemini.
saying you were
Hmm.
saying that there are more eclipses this year than
Right.
usual. Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked up some information before, and I didn't realize this. So usually in a calendar year, they say 4, 5 eclipses maximum, and that includes, I guess, maybe both lunar and solar. I'm not too
Oh,
sure.
maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
But this year, 2020, we have 7.
Wow.
And so the astrology community see that's a very rare occurrence. So it's like, no wonder 2020 was also difficult,
Right.
right?
Makes a lot of
With
sense.
with the influence of these eclipses, yeah.
Right.
Um, because eclipses are about breaking things down, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
um, what else would you say eclipses
I would
would?
say that the eclipse represents the shadow side of the psyche, and that's where you're really crawling deep into your shadow side. It can get really dark in your
Okay,
psyche. Yeah. And then you see the light. The light will always find you. It really will. But there
right.
are these times in your life, and I don't know why. I guess it's to learn to so that you never have to go to that point again. You learn when you let yourself go to the dark side, and
Yeah,
you let yourself go real far down in that dark side, it seems like there's no light ever. You just can go a
right.
long time without seeing any light. And then somebody rescues you, like you were talking about earlier. Somebody does something to them is meaningless, and to you is that spark of light, and then it grows. So
Yeah,
that's what an
yeah.
eclipse means. It's not easy. It is not
No,
easy.
no. And apparently it's like, depending on what sign it's in, it means something.
Mm-hmm.
Also to, so any of you who are listening, so I read earlier, so Bonnie, I don't know if she's still watching or she's still here. It's her birthday today. So
Oh, happy
Bonnie, happy
birthday.
birthday, Bonnie. And
Yeah,
also, Bonnie, this means that the eclipse has a impact on you. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so those with any planets in Gemini and Sagittarius, it'll affect you more
Mm-hmm.
than the other signs because the eclipse is in Gemini and the
Right.
opposite sign of Gemini is Sagittarius. So if you have your sun, if you have your moon, rising sign, so rising sign, you would have to know your chart, your astrological chart, and that you get by the time and place of your birth.
Yeah.
And also too, if you know the nodes. So there's a north node and south node. So if they're in Gemini or Sagittarius, this eclipse has an impact on you more profoundly than other signs.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I wrote some notes about what the Gemini full moon eclipse means.
Okay.
So they said it's going to create an atmosphere of trying to open up our eyes and mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because Gemini is about opening ourselves up. And it's about curiosity, expression, creativity, how we communicate. It's also, so just be aware, like we might hear or say things that's out of character, or that we wish we could take back because of the eclipse. So just be aware of that. It's also it's supposed to push us to thinking outside the box, or patterns, our paths, what we're usually used to, or how our usual way of thinking or being.
Interesting.
Yeah. What else did I want to write? Oh, right. So they said to also be aware. Don't be surprised if you feel kind of like your head's in the clouds this week, or like things have a like airy feel to it. It's like, you're not with it, maybe. That could be a way of looking at it. It's a week where, many of us will change our minds a lot. So don't beat yourself up if you find like, well, I decided this, and then no, you changed your mind the next moment.
Right.
They said like we're in our heads a lot this week, because Gemini, that's what the Gemini energy is about. And so they said, just be aware, like you don't overload your head, you don't overthink. It's easy to overthink things, to overanalyze. So just be aware of that. Okay.
That is me every day of my life. So I overanalyze everything.
It's so easy to do. So it's like, so it doesn't sound like it's going to be easy,
Right.
as far as, if you're wanting to like clear the head, or like, get out of your head, it's like, it's going to be a little bit challenging this coming week.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people saying recently too that they feel disconnected. They're having a hard
Mm,
time attaching to I guess you're having a hard time to connecting to the now moment, because you're in your head thinking about what tomorrow's going to bring. And that's what I
yeah.
think is happening, but I don't know, I
Yeah.
am hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been feeling that too, like the past, I'm going to say 10 days, that's how long I've been sick so far. I've just felt like, disconnected from the world. And it's like, if I, try to read something or listen to a story, whatever it is, or it's like I felt like it's not absorbing, like I'm not getting the message. So
you're reading the same paragraph 5 times and still not listening to
yeah,
yourself.
like it's not, yeah. So I feel really disconnected, and almost like what's going on, and feeling like out of it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I can't get things accomplished, or
Right. Nothing's working.
Nothing's working or absorbing. Yeah.
I went through a period of time like that. It was really hard for me. I was really detached. I felt like, nobody around me would probably say I was going through anything, but internally I felt it. I felt this real detachment. And I told you the other day that I bought a plant and I nurtured that plant. I put my hands in the dirt, and I felt, because Mother Earth is always reciprocal. Mother Earth will respect you and give to you and honor you like you honor her. So
Yeah.
it's good to do that. Start small. Pace yourself with your resources of what you have, because some days your resources are they're not there. You don't have them. So you got to pace yourself. You got to just stick with something as tangible as dirt, or you know what I mean? Like something you can watch, you can help, you can nourish, you can breathe life back into, and it breathes life back into you. It does. It helps to reattach into the now
Right.
moment, and keep telling yourself that. Come into the now. What's happening in this moment? Not what happened yesterday or what's going to happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And remind yourself that you only have the now moment. You don't have any other moment. So just remind yourself to stay in the now.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's a matter of like, um, what helps me today, or what helps me now to get through this moment or this day, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So some days
Yeah.
it's really difficult to get out of bed. You
Mm-hmm.
don't, even that cup of coffee that used to get you out of bed, just doesn't sound very good anymore, and it's hard. So you just got to find other things to help with that. Maybe it's a hobby or something that simple to just have you look forward to in the morning.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
And pull on your resources. Your resources are never gone from you. It's just how connected are you to them. You can block them off very easily. You can pinch off those resources, and you get into this independent kind of mode. And when you start to open up again, then it's kind of exponential, and it does come back to you, and you reconnect, and you're stronger than you were before, and you've learned how to get through these tower moments, how to survive something you never thought you could survive. And now
Yeah.
you have that tool in your pouch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So hang in
Exactly.
there.
Yeah. 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 And I want to add too, like, this just came to me, thinking of the tarot card, the star.
Yeah.
Um, you know, this could be a good time to maybe tap into the energy of the universe, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like make a wish, or ask the universe for a
Yes.
favor, and then just let it, let it go. Try not to get hung up on, like, is it going to happen? How's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Right.
Right.
Play with that energy. Because that could
Yeah.
be, another way to tap into the energy of the month, right? And
Well, yes. Yeah. That is the pilgrimage. That is the journey, and that's the important thing to remember, that this is it. This is the, life is what happens to you while you're busy planning for it.
right, right,
So
right,
important to
right,
remember that. Yeah.
right, right. And then the camel plays into the story of the three
Yes.
wise men and how they
Yes.
followed the star,
Right. I love that.
and they brought gifts, right? And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And the camel, I pulled my wild unknown animal tarot,
Oh,
camel. Camel is very
wow.
spiritual with the gifts that he holds. It depends on if they have one hump or two. I've recently found out it means different things, but the one hump means if you see a camel with one hump, it means you are on the right path, that you have to pull all of your resources together and enjoy this pilgrimage. That's what human life is a pilgrimage. So enjoy
Yeah.
that journey, and and the resources might be, maybe looking through a photo album and replenishing, those memories of when you were felt safe and happy and peaceful, and that kind of pulls in that energy anyway. It's the energy you're looking to shift out. So
Yeah. 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 This, if there's anything I want everyone to remember for the month of December, it's like, try to focus on quality over quantity, and that ties in with the value, right?
oh
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So focus on the value rather than how
Yeah.
much, right? Or
It's hard during a pandemic when there are shortages everywhere. Everyone feels like a hoarder.
right, right,
Right.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
yeah, what do you need? And that's important too. Like we are looking very closely at what do we need to, maybe it's not toilet paper for you, or maybe it's, you know what I mean? Like you're
right,
stocking up on what replenishes you. So that's
right.
important to look at too as a
Yeah,
lesson.
yeah, 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 exactly. Exactly. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add to?
Um, well, I'm excited for December because, for one, we're coming into 2021 and we've done it. We've really accomplished something. We have gotten through probably one of the hardest years in history that we all worldwide. The whole world has gone through something. So
Hmm.
it's important to celebrate that we're still here and we're still talking about it and we're still trying to find ways to help us through this, and it's so important to celebrate that. Don't forget that it's okay to stop and celebrate what you have accomplished, because
Exactly.
right, because appreciation is everything, and that brings more and more into your life with the law of attraction.
Yes,
So
that's right. Yes. And the number 8 is connected to the law of attraction.
it is, yeah, yeah.
It is.
It is. It's
Because,
fast movement.
yeah, because of, the symbol, like the 8, it's that infinity symbol. So it's
Right.
like what goes out comes back.
That's
Like
right.
that's what that 8 is. So yes, that's very good point. Like we take the time to, and a lot of people I think too, especially when we get closer, like to the end of the month of December, like people tend
Yeah.
to reflect back on the year or reflect back on their life, right? Because people are like, okay, a new year's going to begin. What do I want? What's my, people make new plans, new goals, right? That's the
Yeah.
tradition.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, take the time to celebrate and
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back.
Yes. Appreciate what you've
You
done.
know,
And
you,
I have a great thing to do for the new year too. I did this
okay,
last year. Okay. Instead of making a new
okay,
year resolution
yeah.
on January 1 and moving forward, I did it once a week, but write down on a post-it note. I made this pretty little vase that I would put these post-it notes in. I wrote down what I appreciated that day on a post-it note, like Rosalind did the dishes today, or so, you know what I mean? Like something I
Oh, yeah.
appreciated because I was tired, or Michael did something, and I would put it on a post-it note and put it in that jar for the whole year. Instead of resolutions of what I'm going to do, I decided I'm going to appreciate more, and that would help me
Mm,
appreciate more. So we were talking about appreciation, so that was just some silly thing I started doing, but it helps to formulate what you are appreciative for, when you're writing it
mhm.
down like that.
Yes, yeah, it
So that's
does.
my tip.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
So yeah.
think, yeah, and
Oh,
and also,
your
I-
sound is weird again. Okay,
oh, is that better?
that's much better. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's
See,
not.
and
Maybe
me,
I'm the only
I
one hearing
sound
it.
okay. Yeah, maybe it's
Right?
just you. Yeah.
Maybe.
And I want to say too, like, celebrate the people that you care about as well, whether they're present or not, right?
that's
So um,
that's right.
take the time and reach out and just say, like, what, I value you as my
Right.
sister, or I value that you're my nephew or niece. Like, share something,
Yes, that's a
right?
wonderful
Shine
idea.
shine something bright and light on those in your life,
Love it.
and those that have passed, celebrate something wonderful about them, right? Like,
That's
try
right.
to put the spotlight on something positive that you remember about them or that you loved about them, right?
Oh,
Because it'll
yes.
make it easier. It'll make it easier too.
Yes. Yes. And you are
Hmm.
not alone. It's
Hmm.
you always have your guidance and your angels, no matter who you are.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, there's that weird sound again. I don't know.
It's you.
It's me. The universe is telling me something. Shut the hell up, maybe. Okay.
No, no. I love hearing you talk and what you share.
Oh, thanks.
It's always
You
great.
too. I love hearing
Oh,
you.
thanks. Thanks. Well,
Yeah.
everyone, I think we're going to wrap it up. Nobody shared any questions, so that's fine. It's fine.
Great, but thank you for coming here and listening to us. So appreciative
Yeah.
of that.
Yes, yes. And I hope what we shared was of value somehow, some way to you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
okay. Well, everyone, everyone have a divine week, and stay safe and be well, and we'll be back next Monday.
Yes. We'll see you
Okay.
next Monday. All right. Thank
Okay.
you, Tina.
Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.